I'm Ashley.
I'm Jonathan.
We are Tiny Shiny Home. Us and our 4 kids are building an off-grid desert homestead from the ground up.
If you're just joining us, we are building a Hyperadobe Roundhouse for our entire family, and so far we've set the foundation, we've dug out all the trenches to put the plumbing in, and we've started building Earthbags, but we're to the point where we're coming out of the ground.
Which causes a little bit of problems, but more on that later.
Yeah, let's get started.
It is a beautiful but cold day. It's 43 degrees out. It's a little chilly, but I'm not going to complain. The sun is out and we are ready to get started back at the house pad. Jet and I are out here before everybody else trying to get the house pad prepped and ready to where when everybody comes out, we can just get going. We may need some gloves. It's chilly. Are you cold? Are you good?
I should probably get a hat.
Okay.
Have you heard about summer snow? When it falls on you, your blood runs cold. But don't you sweat your pretty skin, 'cause it melts away for it sinks in.
One thing that we're gonna try to do this year is alleviate a lot of annoyances. So the first step is at every mixer, we have a scraper because every few batches of mix, we need to scrape the mixer. So they're always being thrown on the ground. Nobody can find them. Dogs take them. I'm going to cut this PVC, tape it to the mixer so that the scraper always gets put back in its place. We'll see if it works. That was an easy fix to an annoying problem. Problem solved. Let's get started.
Did you see the snow? Yeah, we got snow the other day. Doesn't happen very often in the desert, but we like it when it does. So all the kids are out, we're ready to get going. We're starting with this straight wall over here, and the reason we're doing that is because we want to put our ramp over this wall. So our entry points are going to be the kitchen wall, and then this is the master bedroom wall. So we're going to lay this third bag so it's above ground, backfill it, and then set that ramp on top.
Then keep going.
Then keep going.
Are you guys on mixers today?
We are on mixers. Yeah.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication to our house build.
You're welcome.
Thank you for... Okay. What do you think about those nice little holders for your scraper?
Delightful.
I don't want to see them on the ground anymore. Deal?
Throw it on the ground.
Maybe.
Please throw it on the ground.
the key to a good even straight wall is before you tamp, go ahead and try to get the bag as much where you want it as possible. I'm pretty happy with that. So the first pass, I'm just getting the poof out of the bag and trying to kind of evenly distribute that dirt out. If I just tamp in one spot, I could go too low, I could go too high. So start in the middle, go over a few times, and then because our custom tamp broke and we have to get the sides, I ping pong across like this to get the edges nice and tamped out. Then I get the sides nice and square. And what I'm doing is I'm eyeballing down to the layer below, trying to bring it in just a little bit because I know I'm going to tamp it again on the top and it's going to push it out a little bit. I'm just trying to make a nice clean line all the way down. And then if I walk on it, I can feel it's still going up a little bit. So I'll do the final tamp, usually in the middle. And then try to smooth it into whatever I just did. It's still a little high right there. You can kind of hear it change sounds when you hit it and it's not all the way tamped. Like that's not all the way tamped yet. And I'm not going to finish this until we get a little more distance out that way.
With that row completely tamped and all done, we need to go ahead and wrap that vapor barrier over this wall and cut our hardware cloth and backfill so that we can install our ramp in a doorway, which means we have to know where the doorway is too. I think we know.
All right, so we're ready to put the ramp in. But remember, we want to take this hardware cloth, our rodent protection barrier, and we want to wrap it up and around because we're going to do that up till we get above ground. We got to put it in now so that we can backfill against it and then have a place to set that ramp on. Ramp number 2, almost done, just cleaning up, adding a little extra support where the ground isn't perfectly level. Also, this is very dangerous. We are back out at the roundhouse. Now, yesterday we did this straight wall and we set this ramp, and we also did that straight wall. Now, the reason we have to kind of go in a certain order because we want to make sure that the bags overlap properly. So even though we just did all the straight walls, we're having to do all the straight walls again so they overlap right, and then we'll get back to the circle bags. Anyway, we got to do our last straight wall, and then we can start on the big outside circle for the third course. Our goal with doing these in a certain order is that you can see on this wall already this layer was broken. So it gets broken here at the corner where that circle overlaps. Where this circle overlaps, it broke the bag, and it's also breaking it back there. So what we want to do is we want to have those overlaps, but we also want to have a single layer that goes all the way across. So that's what this next layer will be. It will go over top of all of these intersecting walls. Then on the next layer, we'll break it up again. The next one, we'll do a single unbroken one. We just really like that extra security of having those long, unbroken, super heavy bags to hold everything together. When you're doing earth bags, you kind of have to think about it like Lincoln logs. You want every other bag to kind of overlap with each other, and so that does mean that we have to build this whole thing up at the same time. We have lots of people leaving comments saying, well, why don't you just build from the inside out or from the outside in? They all have to intersect, they all have to go up at the same time, and it can get a little confusing. Hopefully we'll keep it all straight.
This isn't grammatically correct though.
Yeah.
So we have a small problem.
Yeah, the kids like to wear headphones when they work, which is fine, but it does complicate us trying to like tell them what we need, or if like, you know, if we need more water on the mix or less water on the mix, or if we need them to stop. So ASL to the rescue. We will now be saying, what is it? If a batch needs more water or less water, and then what? Stop making the mix.
Yeah.
And what else did we need to know?
That's it. That's it so far.
That's it so far. If
don't
we
know
come
if
up with more phrases, we'll let you know.
We don't know if it's grammatically correct.
It may not be, but you know what? It's okay.
We're
We know
sorry.
what we're talking about. This is a tiny shiny S, so
TSL.
yeah, TSL. All right. Anyway, let's get started.
Tiny,
Wait,
shiny
what is
language.
let's get started?
Oh.
We need to know what let's get started is. Ada figured it out. What is it? What does it mean?
Let's go.
Let's go.
I think.
Let's get started. We thought it would be fun to answer some comments that have been made on our YouTube channel. So today we're gonna answer the question of, hey, why don't you ever finish a project before you start your next one?
Guys,
Take it, Jonathan.
we live in the real world. No, work is never done on a homestead.
It's always nice to have at least 2 projects going on the homestead. Our minimum is 2, because say we want to work on one project but we don't have the materials. We can go work on the other project until we can get the materials
Yeah, it's very hard to have everything perfectly lined up.
and timed with the weather and like there's
Lots of stuff going on. There's just
Yeah.
lots of things, lots of variables, and so it's good to have multiple things going. And also, like we're about to start another project. It's a project that needs to be done based on timing of certain things that are happening. We can't change those things. But we can slow down a little in the house, make time for it.
It doesn't mean we're stopping completely.
No,
we're just doing smaller portions.
When you're on a homestead, there's always something to do. Even if we were like done with our house and had the dome finished, there would be 20 other projects that we could work on.
Yep.
So there's always something to do.
Yep.
All right, we're wrapped up for the
Rain.
rain tomorrow. But remember when we said we weren't going to change anything?
Whoa. Okay.
We might be.
So I was looking at this wall as we were laying it. I'm like, this is more than 10 to 12 feet. And I couldn't remember our measurement, so I walked it off, and it's about 16 feet without any buttressing.
From the inside wall to this next wall over here. Yeah, it's about 16 feet. So we're gonna have to go do some measurements and see if there's a way we can put a buttress maybe into the bathroom, like a little tiny buttress, just to get, I mean, I think it'll probably be okay, but it's a big wall. It's got 3 circular walls all coming into it. And I would feel a little better if we could work in a way to buttress it and to strengthen it a little bit, but also do it like in a functional way that makes sense in the bathroom without cutting into that space.
My idea is take the shower wall 3 feet off and go ahead and build your buttress there, and you can use that 18-inch wall or 16-inch wall as part of your shower wall. And that would like give it some, you know, separation from sink and toilet.
And we'll be doing the shower all custom, so we can seal it up and we can make that work. We're not worried about using Earthbag walls, but like, that's one option. There's a few other things. We just need to get into the 3D model and try a few things and see what's actually gonna make the most sense.
So we're big advocates on buttressing. We tell everybody you should buttress every 10 to 12 feet, no more. And somehow we ended up with a 16 wall without buttress.
So we should follow our own advice. So maybe while we have a rainy day tomorrow, maybe that's what we'll be working on.
We're still in the moonlight. It's something sweet. Let it wash over all of me. With you I form my company. Forever close to the unknown. There's no doubts and no regret. Happy before we get another day to do it all again. Oh, throwing open all the curtains wide. Oh, not gonna miss a thing. Oh, nothing's promised to you in this life, but it's there for us to take.
Well guys, it turns out that my foot is not necessarily a foot.
Yeah, you were talking all yesterday about how this was 16 feet from this circular wall to this circular wall.
Yeah, because I walked it off and it was 16 of my feet.
And so you may remember we said we had some weather coming in. We got blasted yesterday, like 60, 70 mile an hour winds, rain, hail. We were inside all day just trying to stay out of it. And so we did a bunch of computer work.
Yeah, we were researching, oh shoot, we can't have a 16-foot wall without buttressing. So we were like looking at our plans, how can we put a buttress in this wall? And then it dawned on me.
Well, we have the 3D model, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like in the 3D model, I'm like, that's not 16 feet.
I was like, I walked it off, it's 16 feet.
And I was like, your feet aren't feet.
Yep. Turns out my feet aren't feet.
Nope.
So
about 10 inches actually.
We do suggest to everybody that's building like this to have a buttress every 10 to 12 feet.
Yes.
This wall from corner to corner is 13. We're gonna call it good.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
We were stressing out about it, and then when we realized it was actually 13 feet, we're like, that's close enough. That's gonna be okay. Especially the way we're building with the AB mix and how we're tamping.
Interlocked with 3 walls, so I feel like we're good. Everything's fine. Guys, just because your foot is called a foot doesn't mean it's a foot.
So in the workshop, the Hyperadobe workshop, there was one thing Hayden mentioned. He was like, if you measure, you know, you walk it off, you're the one to go measure the bag when you cut because your feet are different than everyone else's feet.
Yep. We should have done it in metrics.
Should have done it in metrics for sure. Also yesterday we figured out our doors. We decided on door sizes and mostly where they're going to be. I think all of like the bedroom doors, that's all still flexible at this point, but probably once we finish this 3rd course, we're going to be going back and actually deciding where things go, because in the 4th course, all those frames have to get installed.
We are so close. So today is all about finishing. Nope. Today is about continuing the 3rd course, not finishing.
Yep. So we're going to keep going on the big living room wall, and then we'll see what else we can get to. While they get started on that, what I'm gonna do is all along this outside wall, it's still really lumpy. As we start to work on these walls, we're gonna need to have like a flat surface on the outside. So I'm gonna take a flat shovel and just kind of even this out all the way around, kind of as we go. I'm not gonna do all of it right now, but we'll get started on it. And that way, as we continue to build up, we'll have that nice flat surface area to work on.
If anybody has any recommendations on nozzles that don't leak, please let us know. I'm pretty sure we've bought about 15 or more nozzles since we've been here working, you know, in the last 3 years. And all of them are crap. We haven't found one good one that doesn't leak within a couple weeks. Let me know if you know of one. All right, our bucket system 3.0 that we just recently did is working out well. So much easier to get the bag on the bucket by using the Lowe's buckets because the Tractor Supplies must be just slightly wider. It was really hard to get the bag on. Also, I was able to fit 64 of my feet of bag. I don't know how many that is, but 64 of my feet of bag on that. Usually we would do 32 on the other one.
Yeah, that's like 20, 30 more feet of bag. That's awesome.
Yep, quick math.
Ashley feet math.
Also, I measured this bag, 64 of my feet.
Adelaide thinks it's not long enough.
Adelaide thinks it's not gonna fit.
It's not.
It's gonna be close.
It needs to come off.
I think it's gonna be like 2 feet too short.
We might have to do the wrappy bag.
Condom bag. We're changing plans and it's not my fault.
No, yeah, it's my fault. So here's the deal. This wall right here, it's extending past the actual living space, and the reason for that is there's gonna be like a big either sliding glass door or double French door right there to get from the main kitchen and living room area to this big outside patio. But all of our wind and rain comes this direction. And so we always plan to have this wall sort of extend to protect that, and the roof is going to be attached to it. But standing here and looking at this, if the rain comes in, it could still hit this door. And so we're just going to dig this trench out, not too much further, like maybe to here, because we don't want to block that view of the mountains. We just want a little bit more protection for that entry and exit there. So we use our tape measure and use the compass and just mark and dig just a little bit down. We're just going to give it a little toe hold. It doesn't have to go that full distance down because it's just a sort of a small wall. But I'm going to mark that, trench it out, put a little gravel in it, get it to match up with this one, and then we'll lay it and it'll be good. All right, so we've dug out, we've built up with gravel, put in harder cloth vapor barrier. We laid one bag up to the level of the existing bag, and then we're gonna do one more bag that's gonna go from where it crosses here all the way to the end as a single unbroken bag. We should be done for the day.
Living room wall, round 3, well, course 3, is done.
Yeah.
It's very exciting to see it. It's like above ground level. Next up, we need to do the outside of the kids' bedroom wall, like all the bedroom walls.
Right.
Because we need to build a third ramp.
One more ramp.
But this ramp is complicated because it's like a 2.5 foot drop off the side.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure all that out. But we know, well, we also have to figure out where the door is.
Yep.
So,
Anyway.
we'll get to that soon.
So let's just concentrate on finishing course 3.
Yeah.
Outside wall, the hallway wall, and then the inner courtyard wall. Then we'll talk about complicated stuff.
It's getting complicated to lay bags without these ramps.
It's okay.
That's why we got to figure it out, because we're not gonna be able to get to our walls very, very soon.
We have a plan.
We do have a plan.
Okay.
Just wait. You'll see.
Don't worry about it. We don't worry about it. No, we don't worry about it. No, we don't worry. All of the heartaches and all of the nights, all of the looking for somebody nice. You were the one I was waiting to find. No need to run when they turn on the lights. It's you and me till the sun in the sky. It's gonna be for the rest of our lives, and we won't worry about it. No, it's all fine. We just keep this party till we see the sun, and we won't worry about it.